Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. You are watching Still Toking with. My name is Leo, and Monkey behind the keyboard here. We have a great show scheduled for you, as always. And, hey, you're not Ben. What the hell?
No, I am not.
Hey, how's it going, Dustin?
I am doing wonderful. How about you, Leo?
Doing fine. Jeffrey.
Happy Wednesday. It is
Happy
Wednesday, right? Yeah, November 1st. We're past the Halloween stuff.
Bunny.
Although it was, it was good. I like Halloween. I like the little kids. They're all dressed up. They look really cool. Although they're getting fewer and fewer these past few years. I mean, either I'm getting old or they're growing up. I haven't figured out which yet.
We don't get any kids where I am.
Well, who'd want to go to your house?
Well, it's Navy housing. You figured there's a lot of kids, but yeah.
Oh well, yeah, you would think so, but
Yeah.
I am psyched for today's show. I've been talking about not this guy, but a couple of his movies for the last few years now. Whenever I talk horror, I always bring up that flick. Always, right, Leo?
Oh yeah.
So I'm really excited to chat with him. So let's just bring him in, Shawn Burkett. How you doing, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going well. You're just getting over some pneumonia, you were saying.
Yeah.
It'll be that's a tough one. Like I said, I've had it a few times myself, and it's never fun. So I wish you a speedy recovery with that, first off.
Thank you.
And yeah, you've been a busy guy. I did get a chance to watch the screener link, for the new flick. I think that comes on the 8th. It'll be available.
I think no, November 7th or 8th.
7th or 8th, yeah.
I'm not sure which one.
I'll double check on that for you.
Yeah, it was either the 7th or the 8th. Great flick. I enjoyed the hell out of that one.
Awesome.
I'm a big Squatch fan anyway, so it was.
I was only able to watch a trailer.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had last minute time.
I had to fill in at the last minute.
But I don't want to give any spoilers on it, but I think it was very, very well done. I had a lot of fun watching it. It was kind of a different take on your typical Squatch stuff.
Yeah.
It actually reminded me of the hell was the name of that movie? It was called.
You're old. You can do it, Jeff. You can do it.
It was. It had to do with a bear, and these 4 kids were trapped in the car. And I think it was it called Grizzly Rage, maybe?
Maybe.
No, nobody's.
Well, there was an old one called Grizzly, and they made a Grizzly 2 recently from like footage from the original one.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was it. It might have been called The Bear or just Bear, but I know it was a grizzly trapped these kids in a car. So it was kind of, I got reminiscence of that as I was watching Stranded a little bit, you know what I mean? But, even the creature was well done because that's, to me, that's really hard to do.
It was a pain.
Oh, I'm not going to let him flip. It's okay. I got this, Ben.
Well, before we go deep into it, you mentioned a trailer. We do have the trailer. So Stranded, you can find it on VOD around the 7th. And here we go.
What's all this? Are these woods really that dangerous?
Not that I remember. This seems like something else.
Oh! Hey, if somebody's there, my car broke down, I could use some help.
I'm gonna take this direction here. You take that path over there. Should we really be splitting up?
Catherine, what did you see?
I don't know.
Riley, come in.
There's nothing out there.
Very cool.
Awesome. So
yeah, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to see it myself.
It is fantastic. And I did want to say that, what a fantastic job, whether it was the directing or the writing, the dynamics of the family. Because I think that played a very, very important part as to how they react to the situations.
And I think one of the main things that kind of helped that along when we were filming, literally we all stayed at the same location, but we kept the 4 actors. They had their own group bunk. So they lived together while filming this whole thing, which gave them time to practice, gave them time to just get to know one another. Because there's part of it that's just, it flows very well because it's like, it feels like they really know each other.
Well, there was some, it was real, like that sibling rivalry and that sibling hatred that they had towards each other too, so very well done. I commend you on that.
Thank you.
And I think if I remember, Reed, you did have a hand in some of the writing of this, right?
Yeah, I co-wrote it with Cheyenne Gordon. We've been writing together for a while now. I just can't. I'm a director to where man, I wish just somebody would give me the money. They don't need to see a fucking script and let me just make some shit. Because for me, I would rather tell the like cast member, like, okay, say it however you want to say it. Just you need to get this, and this point across. I don't care. I don't care how you say it.
That would be fucking awesome. I always thought like it'd be a cool idea to just basically have an idea and go in there and just let actors just go at it. Just fucking roll with it and see what happens.
I mean, yeah, it just, I'm not, like, I have all these ideas. So the way me and Cheyenne work is like, I'll give him like basically every single little thing that I want to have happen from A to Z. And then I'll start filling out some parts. He'll start filling out some parts. Like, he's better with dialogue than I am, even though once we get to set, I'm like, say it how you want to say it. I don't want it to sound like you're reading this in your head. Just, so I'm not a stickler for dialogue.
Yeah, we weren't either when we were filming the Talking with the Dead stuff either.
Yeah.
Most of that was ad lib. The only thing Bill said was, I don't care what you say, but the first line and the last line have to be the same for cut purposes.
Yeah.
Everything in between, he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You guys even ad-libbed the light switch.
We ad-libbed everything.
And that's another thing. It's like, I normally edit everything I make, so it's like that's a good thing to know. Like, as long as the first and the last line are the same, say whatever you want. Say it a million different times. You're just it's gonna help in the end.
Right. Well, as an editor, you can take the best of the center.
Yep.
That's kind of how I see it, And I think the actors have a lot more fun doing that too.
Oh yeah. Don't Fuck in the Woods. So much of that was just random stuff. And there was some random stuff that definitely didn't make it. Just because it was like, listen, I don't want to get sued by anybody or have like hate groups out after me because you chose to like ad-lib some shit. But there was even some, I mean, I know there's one line like, man, she's hotter than a fifth grader, that I was just like, oh my God. But there was no other line for me to use at that point. So, but yeah.
Well, since you brought it up, I mean, since I saw Don't Fuck in the Woods about maybe 4 years ago, I think I saw it for the first time. And it took me a while to find it because AI doesn't like the word fuck.
Yeah.
So I got my Roku and I'm doing the voice thing and it's not finding anything. I literally had to go in and type F****, just to find the damn thing.
Yeah.
But once I found it, I think I watched it 3 times in a week. Just because it was right up my alley. I mean, I grew up as a kid in the woods of Maine.
Yeah.
As a teenager and as a young adult. And, what do you do as a young adult in the woods of Maine? You go fuck in the woods.
Right.
Just like any, it kind of pulled together a lot of the old classic horror flicks for me too. Because that's what all of these young kids do in these movies. Whether it's in the woods or in a cabin in the woods or whatever. I mean, that's where they all take place.
Yeah. About every decent slasher has been that way since like the late 70s. Or maybe
I think I read somewhere that the title of the movie was actually up for an award, wasn't it? For best title. I read that somewhere.
Man, that's been so long ago. I know. I think Dread Central said the best movie title ever has been made, or something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that I read.
Yeah, that's been a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, But if you haven't seen the movie out, you know, the people that are watching, go check this movie out. I mean, I was thrilled. I just love the entire concept of it. You know, I mean, I'm a creature guy anyway. You know what I mean? But basically, you know, a creature that doesn't like the smell of sex. I mean, that was just over the top and absolutely phenomenal. And whoever came up with that idea, I mean, they deserve a gold star.
Yeah, I actually found the movie by sheer accident. I was on tour at the time, and I remember it was late, and it was one of those drinking nights, and we're already hammered drunk, and half the people are asleep, and I'm rolling through Tubi, and all of a sudden I see "Don't Fuck in the Woods," and I'm like, you know, this is perfect.
Right?
I hit play, and I'm just like, all right, I dig it. And I'm like you, I'm a creature guy. I like the creature horror films over. I mean, slashers are okay, but I've always been a creature guy and big into that. So, I mean, I loved it too. I thought it was great.
See, I loved creature features growing up, and the first two movies I made were very psychological, and it just got to the point where I was trying to figure out what to do next. And everybody at that time, they were just making slashers, and it just, I literally like went to a video store because they were still around, and like walked around and looked at stuff, and I'm like, man, what did I grow up on? Like, there, you know, there was always like Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp and that kind of stuff. So it was like, how do I merge these two? Because one of my favorite, I guess, childhood films would be, I mean, the Critters movies.
Yeah,
that's where it was for me as a kid. So I was like, man, I want to make a monster, but I definitely know I can't make something small because I had no idea what I was doing at that point in time. So then Monster Squad was another movie I grew up on. So I was like, okay, let's go back, like Old Man in a Suit. I rented a bunch of movies that I had never seen, like Without Warning, which that one was just kind of a trip. It was just...
Yeah, you even did an ode to Monster Squad in the first one with one of the lines. I was like, oh, Monster Squad, I fucking love it.
But yeah, it just, I wanted to do something different, and I've been mainly sticking with monster movies ever since.
Wow, as opposed to the psychological side of things.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you know, although even Stranded, I mean, there's a lot of psychological shit going on in that flick too.
See, Stranded is kind of, I'm trying to bridge a gap between horror and thriller, because it seems like, I don't know if it's just me trying to find my place, but there are more and more horror filmmakers showing up every day. But there aren't a ton of like thriller filmmakers, and it's weird how there is a huge difference in the marketing and what's available. Like, but I feel like with me adding creatures to it, I'm still keeping my roots. But yeah, I'm just looking for a place to fit in.
Well, that was most of your filming done right in Ohio?
Yes, we actually filmed. What's crazy is that Stranded, anytime that we are outside and it looks like nighttime, that is either in a barn or in my apartment.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Like, we literally built trees. We had, for anything that has the car in it and it's outside, we took a barn and literally the one of the leads, Brittany Blanton, she worked for a guy who did landscaping for Dave Chappelle, and they went and got a bunch of brush and trees from his property that they were getting rid of, and those are all the trees in Stranded.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we literally took some.
You built your woods.
Like skids, and put them on the ground, went out and got a ton of leaves, covered them up, and then literally screwed in trees to those. That way we could have woods.
Now,
Wow.
did you do it like that to because I noticed there was a lot of fog and a lot of atmospheric effects. Did you do it that way to control it better?
We did that so we could control lighting, atmosphere, even sound. Like we were able to run 2 different microphone setups just to make sure we got everybody's sound the best that we could. There's still a couple spots in the movie to where I'm like, damn it. And it's in the funeral home. But other than that, in the car, you can hear everything that everybody says. Like, it is crisp audio.
I didn't catch anything that wasn't crisp.
There's just, I'm nitpicky. There's like one part.
Well, you edited it.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes.
You
could have people like, oh, well, you fucked that one up. This part, you fucked that one up. I couldn't hear that fucking dude.
Right.
That lighting was kind of bad. I don't know why you chose to do that, but no, you can't. It's your flick, and I thought it was fucking awesome. That's what I'm gonna say.
Agreed.
Yeah, you did a great job on it, and without you saying that it was filmed inside, I wouldn't have known the difference.
And
you did
that's
a great job.
That's what's awesome, because we spent, with both of the Don't Fuck in the Woods movies, I was tired of just being in the fucking woods. Literally, I spent almost a decade making movies in the woods, to where it's like, I feel like I've tried to light something every way possible. Audio, something always messes up. In Don't Fuck in the Woods 2, we tried to use fog and atmosphere, but it just kept blowing the fuck away. So it was like, if we're going to do this, we need to think outside of the box and try to do this how a major studio would, just on a budget.
Right.
And literally, the whole opening of the film, once it turns night, we actually filmed that in my apartment. We had this little 20 by 20 space. So when the cop is even in the trailer walking through the woods and shoots at Bigfoot, that was in my apartment.
Really?
Yeah, we literally even brought in dirt. We ordered moss from Amazon and put on the ground and everything, just for a small section of it. We just planned out the angles we were going to have beforehand. That way we knew what we could get away with.
Wow, pretty cool, actually.
Now I really got to watch this just so I can see this, because
other than the actual beginning that's daylight, and there's anything that's not in the woods is a real location, but other than the opening and the very end, we just shot in a barn or in my apartment.
No, even around the car and everything?
Yeah. Around the car we rented a big pole barn. It was probably 50 by 80. And it was enough to where we could pull the car in. We pulled the car in and literally took chalk and marked where, okay, this is going to be the road. We need a ditch. Covered it with leaves. We planned out where the skids were going to go to hold the trees. And then we took this black plastic and basically wrapped the whole inside of the barn and the roof. That way no light shined in, and that way we could pump fog and just, you don't even see how far back this wooded area could go.
Wow. Well, you got me, so it fucking worked.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
Well, I would have just thought, you know, go
That had to be
film
a
in the
hell of
woods.
a cleanup deal afterwards.
Honestly, it took maybe an hour.
I was gonna say you left it there. That's your bedroom now. Go fucking the woods.
It probably took about an hour, hour and a half, maybe, to clean up the barn, just because a lot of it was, hey, these trees, just throw them out in the woods. All the leaves and stuff, sweep them right out the door into the woods. So,
Wow, impressive, actually, very impressive. You know, because I mean, you know, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I'm 60. I've watched a lot of horror movies over my years, and there's only a small handful that actually stick out in my mind as ones that I highly recommend to people to watch. Don't Fuck in the Woods is one of them. Okay, it's in the top 5. I'm not going to tell you where, but I'm you know, The Last House on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes.
The originals or the remakes?
No, the original.
Okay.
The original.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, no, the originals. You know, in my top 5, you're not going to find Friday the 13th. You're not going to find Halloween. You're not going to find Scream. You're not going to find any of those.
Oh, that's not me either. Like all mine's like really like obscure like 80s films like Mutilator and
the Mutilator.
I love Slaughter High. I actually had my girlfriend watch Slaughter High today, which she absolutely fucking hated it, but I love it.
Right.
You know, Demon
I
Wind.
Spit on Your Grave. I mean,
yeah,
you know, those kind of classics.
Evil Dead.
You know, so just so you know that, you know, Don't Fuck in the Woods is in that category in my mind. That's where it sits.
Well, that's awesome.
You know, it's in the top 5 because it was just so well done. The concept was fantastic. The title is incredible. You know, I mean, I think that once I finally found it, it's like, how can you scroll past a movie called Don't Fuck in the Woods and not watch it?
Well, some people think it says. Some people think it says "Don't flick in the woods,"
and some people probably think Grandma thinks it "Don't fall in the woods."
Yeah,
you know, I knew exactly what it was. It's obvious.
Oh, I did the minute I seen it. I was like, "Don't fuck the." Okay, yep. We're gonna watch this right now.
Right. So I do want to ask you, who came up with the concept for the sequel, the Don't Fuck in the Woods 2? I personally had my own problems with the second one. You know?
I mean, I've got issues with it too, and I can't say a lot.
It was very reminiscent of Slither.
But that's not the end. That's all I can say.
Okay, all right.
But
I'll take that as it was meant. Yep.
Don't Fuck in the Woods 2 came along by accident. Literally, I can't remember his name, but a producer came to me and was like, "Listen, Don't Fuck in the Woods is amazing. I want to give you 10 grand up front to start out to make a sequel." And I was like, okay. I had no clue what it was going to be about. None of this. Nothing. So I get the ball rolling to where it's like, okay, well, I know we're going to need more than 10 grand. The first one costs $7,500 to make. And I was like, and it's got to be better than that. So we started putting stuff together and casting, and we were getting ready to, I mean, at this point, we released like a little teaser, and the producer just vanished. Never. I have still never heard from him to this day. And
but you got the check.
I email him probably once a year just to see. It's like, did you die? What is going on? But yeah, he just vanished. So now we've put out this teaser, and I'm like, fuck. All right, well, we'll crowdfund for it. And the only thing I knew is that I wanted it to be in this, like in my head, I had a map of this woods that the first one was in. And there are several different places in this like 100-acre woods or whatever, to where there's different buildings and this, that, and the other. So I knew I wanted a campground. I was like, let's fully feed into the like throwback, the 80s horror. Let's have a campground. Let's go that route. And honestly, if you get the Blu-ray, there's some deleted scenes that show that the whole ending of that film was supposed to be completely different. Like we had this big, bad, completely nude monster that had minions, and like there was an explosion, and like it was big. But we went out and filmed for 5 days straight. We filmed 20 hours a day, and we weren't gonna make our like 7-day deadline. So we postponed. And during that time, it just changed to where I was like, that seems awfully Jaws. Like, and to be fair, Cheyenne Gordon, he was co-writer on that. He loves Jaws. But I was like, man, that just feels really Jaws. And considering the first one was kind of a nod to Jaws, like, I know he didn't look at Jaws and say, suck my, and then pull the trigger, but it was a little nod. I just knew I wanted to change it up. And now my mind just went blank. I don't know if I answered the question or if I'm just babbling.
No, there really wasn't a question to that. I mean, the second one, the movie that popped into my head when I was watching the sequel, believe it or not, was The Night of Something Strange.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I remember seeing part of it. I see the movie poster in my head.
Right.
Yeah, see, to me, it was Slither.
See, a lot of people say Night of the Creeps or...
Yeah, I can see Night of the Creeps. That was a good one. Yeah. It as soon as I seen like the little worm things, that it just automatic Slither popped in my head, which I love. Slither. It's a great movie. I loved it.
See, it just that movie. I feel like the Don't Fuck in the Woods movies are kind of cursed. I never get to film everything I want because we have an animatronic for the slugs to where like it raises up and like they look like dicks. The foreskin peels back and these teeth open up.
Mm-hmm.
And like we called it the knob gobbler because it then goes and like eats dicks. So yeah, it was supposed to be real ridiculous. And between time and money, it sucks because at some points you just have to do what you can do because it's not all my money.
Right.
And like producers, they want to see a return sooner than later. So they're generally kind of like, what's the holdup? And well, that movie was held up for a total of 4 years too before it was released.
Well, now the first one, I mean, that seems to have really caught on from what I can see.
Yes, it did eventually. And what's crazy is that we did a convention last weekend. Yeah. that one always sells out. Like, we have a special edition that's got a drinking and or smoking game with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to where like it comes with like scorecards, and like it's an edit to where there's more nudity. But the lead, Brittany Blanton, Jane, she'll pop up every now and then and be like, "Take a drink, pussy, woo," and just flash you. But yeah, there's a drinking game and a smoking game. Like, every time somebody says "fuck," take a swig of beer, and it's said over 90 times.
Wow.
So
Okay.
we recommend people playing in a group of 4 and taking turns, because if not, you could kill yourself.
Okay. So I see a "Don't Drink in the Woods" coming up, maybe.
If you don't drink in the woods, how are you gonna fuck in the woods?
Exactly.
Well, true that. I guess she has to swallow, though. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So of the 3 major ones, obviously, are the "You Don't Fuck in the Woods" and this new Stranded one. Which one did you have the most fun directing?
I would have to say, fun. Man, that's hard. Well, not.
Well, you didn't think I was going to ask you an easy question, do you?
Not the first one, because the first one, I don't feel like I got to direct it as much because I was literally running camera as well.
Okay.
So for me, like, and the actors I've worked with, they hate it because afterwards I'll be like, cut, and I'll walk away. And it's like, if I walk away, that obviously means we're good. Let's move on.
Right.
But like, I don't critique people or anything like that. Like, if you do something I don't like, I'll be like, let's try that again. To where the first "Don't Fuck in the Woods," I don't feel like I really got to direct very much. The second one I did a little more, but I even ran one of the cameras, because we had 3 different cameras going on that movie just to try to film everything we could in 7 days. So I guess I'm going to have to go with Stranded, because Stranded so far is the first time I feel like I've actually got to direct people.
Okay.
Like, without, it's like with "Don't Fuck in the Woods" and "Don't Fuck in the Woods 2, I was working on sculpting and making molds for creatures, lighting, like, my hands were in everything, to where with Stranded, I took a big step back, and like, I worked with the camera and audio and then just directed. So yeah, I don't have a lot to compare it to, so I'm gonna have to go Stranded.
Okay. No, honest answer. I like it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, who played Squatch in Stranded?
His name is Rob Collins. He's actually in Stranded at the beginning. He's a tall, big beard, bald-headed cop.
Okay. Yep.
So he's the one who plays Bigfoot. And he did a great job. Like, he is a tall motherfucker. I want to say he's like 6'6". I really don't remember how tall Rob is, but we didn't have to put him in stilts or anything.
Right. I mean, it was just this past Saturday we were at an event with Matthew Taylor. Matthew Taylor played Nemesis in
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Gotcha.
I think he's 6'7". I mean, just huge.
Yeah.
I mean, his arms are as big as my fucking legs. You know what I mean? He's just giant. Lives up in Toronto, and guess what he does for a job? He's a
Bigfoot.
cop.
Oh.
I wouldn't want that cop coming up to my fucking car. I'll tell you that right now.
That's a
What do
big
you
man.
need? I got you.
That's a big man.
Yeah, big man, big man. The only one I ever met that was bigger than that was Spencer Wilding, and he's only 6'8".
Yeah.
Well, what about Jason Brooks?
Jason Brooks, I believe, is 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've seen those. Jason Brooks plays Jason in Friday the 13th fan films, Vengeance, Vengeance 2.
I've heard of Vengeance.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely frigging incredible. My personal opinion, and those movies are better than all the original Friday the 13th. That's just my personal opinion. They were so well done.
So some person is asking, Shawn, what do you do in between movies?
Some person? Is that what that said?
Yeah, that's what they put for their name. Some person.
Like for fun, or
I would say, since they didn't state, take it any way you want.
Honestly, if I'm in between a movie, I've got 2 other movies I'm working on. It's like Stranded's getting ready to come out. I've got 3 films in production at the moment. And then I've got a script for a 4th that'll hopefully maybe start filming this time next year. So I keep the ball rolling. On top of that, like I take editing jobs from other filmmakers and that kind of stuff.
What do you edit in?
I use Final Cut Pro,
Nice.
which I know. I don't know. I said that to somebody the other day, and they're like, "Ugh."
Oh, I love it.
I'm like, "Fuck you! I don't want to pay $40 or $60 a month to have Adobe when I've had Final Cut Pro and I had to pay for it once, and I get free updates for life."
Yeah, that's totally amazing. I absolutely loved it. I bought mine probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and every new update is like free. It's amazing.
Yep.
But I need to use Adobe for some other projects, and yeah, it's like $50. Well, I'm probably grandfathered in, but I don't know what it is now. But yeah, $50 a month is crazy.
Right. I don't pay subscriptions for shit.
Yeah.
Not even porno magazines.
Yeah, see, I think all my editing, I use Filmora.
Filmora? Never heard of it. But I'm not an editing guy, you know. I don't know anything about video.
Carrie says you have a great haunt and horror community in Ohio, as well as a lot of paranormal stuff going on in general. Does that help with your inspirations?
It did for one of my films. My second film was called Bludgeon, and it was about a guy. It got weird. It was about a guy from my hometown who killed his wife and cut her up, put her in their freezer in their basement, and then one day drove down to Kentucky, and on his way he just chucked chunks of her out the car window. I used that as inspiration, and like, what if he never got caught? And it took some weird turns and things you'd never think of, but like after it released, the guy like got out on parole and luckily went right back in because he was caught breaking into a church and was looking up contact information for one of my family members.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So that got weird.
Yeah.
Oh,
sounds like she was spread a little thin.
Little. So that's why when
Sorry, Dustin.
I released it, I was like inspired by real events.
Right.
Well, let's take that a different way. So several of your movies have cryptids. You have Sasquatch. You have a new one coming out with Mothman. What are your views on cryptids? Like, do you have any experience? Are you a believer in cryptids? Have you heard knocking from Sasquatches? What are your thoughts?
For me, Legend of Boggy Creek was, that was a part of my childhood. I can remember, and I still get like the hair stands up on the back of my neck. The first time I heard that, whatever it is in that movie, like cry out, it just freaked me out. And that's where I really just got interested in Bigfoot. And I can't remember what I was doing, but I was trying to look up. There was a Lance Henriksen Bigfoot movie called Sasquatch, and then they retitled it and called it The Untold.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing everything to try to find this damn movie because my oldest son was like 7 at the time. And I was like, well, I'm not going to show him Boggy Creek because I think that could freak him out. So I was looking for this other one, and I could not find it. And during my research, I was like, wow, there are really like not many Bigfoot movies out there, like under 200.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
and half of those are no good.
Right. Like I tracked down a lot of Bigfoot movies just because I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why aren't there more Bigfoot movies? But then at the same point in time, anytime a Bigfoot movie comes out, it does very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. Amazing, that isn't it? It's amazing.
Right. Like there's just some things that pique people's fascination, and cryptids piques mine. And I know there's a large amount of people out there that are piqued just the same way. So it's like, as far as Bigfoot goes, like it started out with that, but then my kids got into it, and then I got more into it, and then I've got like Bigfoot casts. Like I've got one, a replica of like the Patty cast.
Oh, nice.
And it's just kind of become an obsession. Now, I can't say that I believe in Bigfoot. I can't say that 100%, but I can say I feel like there is 100% a species of primate that is related to Gigantopithecus that could be out there.
Okay. Now, see, I kind of lean the other way.
Yeah.
I watched this documentary. It was about the Sasquatch and Bigfoot, but it was also combined with the alien phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
And there was witnesses, saying, and then they had the footprints in the snow. There were videos and all of this, and they just stopped and ended.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the thing just walked backwards in its own steps. But the basic premise of that documentary was that Bigfoot actually is an alien life form and appears through a portal and just shows up and does his thing and then portals back out.
And
which is an interesting take on the Bigfoot.
One thing I dealt with Bigfoot growing up was Harry and the Hendersons. That's all I remember. That's the only one I seen.
You can't count that.
I loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, and you might as well say Alf is the aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, Harry and the Hendersons, you'll probably appreciate Stranded a little bit because, like, after doing so much research, let's say Sasquatch is real. It's still an animal. Like, so I tried to approach it as more of a territorial type issue. Instead of just some bloodthirsty savage thing running through the, like, as much as I wanted to, because the opening of the movie was so gory. We had like 13 deaths and this, that, and the other. Then the pandemic hit and we couldn't get any of those people to come out to make the movie. So it kind of worked in my favor a little bit. But yeah, it just, I couldn't make it just some senseless creature. I couldn't do that to my roots. I mean, for me, I'm a Universal Monsters guy, and like they always had like backstory and heart. There wasn't just savageness.
No, I mean, I look at the whole Sasquatch and Bigfoot and Yeti and the abominable snowman, whatever you want to call them, from wherever you're from, you know, as an intelligent creature that just wants to avoid mankind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I see. You know what I mean? I literally live less than a mile from the Bridgewater Triangle. You've ever heard of the Bridgewater Triangle?
I have.
Okay, I live less than a mile from there. There's an awful lot of things that they say happen in those woods.
Yeah.
You know, I know last weekend down in Plymouth, Mass, they actually had a whole seminar at the library about the Bridgewater Triangle. And they had one of the people that his house is actually inside the triangle. And from what I understand, he has, quote, seen Bigfoot in the Bridgewater Triangle over 70 times. Now, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I personally have not walked in there because I can't find anybody that will walk through there with me, and I'm not going to walk through there by myself because I'm not an idiot.
Right. Horror movies start out that way.
Well, yeah, I've watched way too many horror movies to go walking through the woods like that by myself, especially when I don't know the woods.
Yeah.
I'll do that up in Maine without a problem. You know what I mean? But because I don't think there's been any Bigfoot sightings in Maine that I'm aware of.
I'm sure there have been, but you also have grizzlies. So it's like
there's no grizzlies in Maine.
No grizzlies in Maine?
There are no grizzlies in Maine, my dear friend. No.
I thought.
Yeah, y'all just have like black bear and.
There's black bear. Although just recently, I read an article from the Audubon in Maine or something like that, that they do have the Maine wolves are back. So there are wolves in Maine. But no, there's no grizzly. No, it's all black bear. All black bear. I've come across a couple in my lifetime up there. Just go boo and they'll run away.
Oh yeah, there's Bigfoot in Maine.
I haven't seen anything about Bigfoot in Maine. But, you know,
Have
it
you
wouldn't
checked
surprise
the
me. I mean, there's so much wilderness up there. You know?
Yeah, Maine's like 90% wilderness, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Not that I ever
pretty
been,
much.
because I haven't been that damn far up north. The farthest north I've been is Connecticut.
No, so you haven't been north.
No. Connecticut is as far north as I've ever been.
No, I could walk up the road from my camp, walk straight into the woods, and literally not hit anything until I walk into Canada.
So apparently, BFRO, which is the Bigfoot Research Organization, has looks like 18 reports of Bigfoot in Maine.
18. Okay, so those are the drunken two-teeth wonders.
So it's by county. You have Androscoggin, Cumberland,
The Androscoggin, yeah.
Hancock,
Okay.
Cumberland, Oxford, Penobscot.
Penobscot.
Piscataquis.
Yep.
Piscataquis or whatever it is. And Waldo.
Piscataquis.
Waldo and York.
Okay. I mean, I'm in Emden County, which is near Somerset. It's up like near the mountains. I mean, literally, I'm in the mountains. So
yeah, Somerset's
yeah,
listed.
I could see that.
Somerset's listed, but no reportings.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you're safe from Bigfoot, Jeff, at least for now.
Well, that's too bad. You know, I mean, I've been setting my trail cams up there, and all I catch is people walking onto my property.
It's probably
No
why it's
Sasquatch.
probably too populated.
But it's not even populated. I mean, you know, there's, I guess for the area it is, but you know, I mean, a good friend of mine is a deer hunter. I said, you can use my cabin anytime you want. Go up and go hunting. He goes, fuck that. I ain't going hunting in Maine. I can set up my deer stand for a week and not fucking see anything. There's too much fucking woods.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be the perfect spot.
No, there's just, he's not going to see them. You know, they just don't come. There's too many places for him to go. He goes, I'd rather go hunting down on Cape Cod where they're everywhere.
Well, I'm saying that's a perfect place for Bigfoot to be.
Well, yeah, and I want to invite Shawn up to my cabin up there, and or come to my house and we'll go walk around together through the Bridgewater Triangle. I should walk out there.
Shawn's like, I don't know about that.
He's like, yeah, fuck that.
I think I'm gonna pass.
I'll film the fake ones, but I ain't interested in finding the real ones.
So I'm also, fun fact, I won't say I'm terrified of the dark, but I don't like the dark. And it's mainly because of all the shit that's in my head. I can be walking just from my car to my front door, and in my head, a werewolf pops out of the fucking bushes and just tears into me. To where it's
really?
like, yeah, I always have a flashlight on me.
Oh, now see, we used to do this thing up in my cabin because there's no street lights, there's no fucking nothing. We're in the middle of the woods, and when I'd have guests up there, it was mandatory that we take a walk up the road. Gravel road in the middle of the woods, no flashlights allowed on a moonless night.
Nah.
And I freaked myself out a couple of years ago because I was doing it. And it was so dark, I couldn't even tell where my driveway was.
Mm-hmm.
So I just clicked the light on real quick and saw the two glowing eyes. And I was like, oh, shit. What was that? What was that? Everybody's guessing. Raccoon? Is it a fucking rabbit? Is it a fucking coyote? What the hell is it? Long story short, we're all fucking holding on to each other. And we finally get up there and I shine the fucking light. It was a fucking cat. Why somebody would have a cat and let it out in the woods in the middle of Maine is beyond me. But whatever you got to do.
You're scared of the pussy, Jeff?
Oh, no, never. Only when it glows. And I knew you were going to go there, Dustin. So you got a couple of things in the works. And like I said, Stranded, for everybody that's watching, make sure you go see it. Check it out. It was a fantastic flick. I absolutely loved it. It's up there on my Sasquatch flicks.
Matter of fact, why don't we play the trailer again before we
play that again, Leo, because that was good.
Here we go.
What's all this? Are these woods really that dangerous?
Not that I remember. This seems like something else.
Oh, hey, Hey, if somebody's there, my car broke down. I could use some help.
I'm gonna take this direction here. You take that path over there. Should we really be splitting up?
Catherine, what did you see?
I don't know.
Riley, come in.
There's nothing out there.
I
Nice.
still don't believe that was in a fucking barn.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
That's so fucking hard to believe. How'd you get the moon?
Oh, that was just stock footage.
Okay, all right. Oh my god. Because I was looking, I'm like, I know I'm gonna see some black plastic in there somewhere. I'm gonna fucking see. No.
I mean, you might if you like. No, you won't see the plastic. You might see light coming from under the plastic somewhere throughout the movie.
Like a reflection through the trees off it or something. I was looking.
We kept it very smoky in there.
It was fucking awesome. I'm like, all right, this is in a barn. No, it's not a fucking barn.
Like it was. I can send you photos. It was all in a barn.
Wow. I'm not doubting you. I mean, I believe you. I mean, the magic of film is incredible. So, and having a place up in the woods in Maine and doing some filming outside, I know how hard it is to keep the fog.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard. So kudos to you on that thought.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've built my own sets, but I've never built a forest.
It's fun.
Because seriously, it looks fucking real.
Like the very first teaser we did for fundraising, I mean, we used whatever we could. There's a couple like fake Christmas trees in there, like stuff that you don't notice unless you are like looking for it. So,
well, to get the pine in there and say, yeah, I could see that. I could see that working. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would work.
Wow. All right, so I know time's running, but I got are you a cat guy or a dog guy?
Depends on the cat and dog.
Well, that's a bullshit answer.
I don't like it's weird. I don't like big dogs. I don't like little dogs. Like I was bit by a dog on the nose as a kid, to where it's like I've had a dog for years.
Okay.
And it was just like a medium-sized dog. I'm cool with like medium-sized dogs.
Like a border collie, kind of that size.
Yeah,
40-pound dog. Yeah.
I mean, I always had mutts, but we did have a boxer for a little while. He was a blast because he was dumb as a box of rocks. So yeah, I'd go dog guy over a cat guy.
Okay. All right. One of those curious questions that I always ask. And what do you like on your pizza?
Mushroom and banana peppers.
Okay.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that one coming. Okay.
I'm like I like pepperoni and whatnot, but like I feel like pepperoni is something that is on most pizzas that if you take it off, there's so many more flavors there that you can just enjoy.
Well, that's why when I get a pepperoni, it always has to have extra cheese.
Yeah. But like I've been on this weird kick lately. Go to McDonald's. Get a double
They don't
cheese
have pizza.
Get a no.
Actually, they used to.
Yeah, they did at one point.
Yeah.
Get a double cheeseburger, plain, and just the taste of the meat alone. It's like a burger you never had before.
Wow.
Like it blew my mind. This was just like 2 weeks ago. Like once they put all the condiments on it, like cuts the flavor of the actual meat out, and the flavor of just the meat is actually pretty damn good.
I'll try that. I know somebody that I know. Whenever he goes to McDonald's, he gets a cheeseburger and a small fry, and he takes the burger, opens it up, and throws the hamburger out the window, and takes all the fries and puts them on the bun.
What? Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you just ask for a fry sandwich with cheese? I'm sure they'll make it for you.
Yeah.
You know. So okay, I didn't see that one coming. Recommendation though, have you ever had a bacon and feta pizza?
Not a bacon and feta.
What?
Yeah, bacon and feta. Give that a try.
I'll have to see.
I'm down to try that.
That's a fancy thing. I'd have to go to like one of the bars downtown to get that.
Oh, we have
Well,
we have a lot
any
of
pizza
bougie ass pizza places around here.
Any pizza place, because if you look at their list of toppings, feta is always on it, and so is bacon.
Yeah,
You just
come
get a
visit.
bacon and feta pizza.
Come visit Beaufort, South Carolina. We got plenty of bougie ass pizza places, and you could get that anywhere.
Any of you try a spaghetti pizza?
I've seen it. I haven't tried it, but I've seen it.
No, Ben had me try a fucking mashed potato pizza.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That was like the fucking grossest thing I ever ate.
We have those, and then like if it's done right, it's not bad, but it's not good to begin with.
Right. It's like, he fucking loves them. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll stick with my bacon.
I like pepperoni and anchovies.
I'm like,
everybody's just looking at me like you nasty motherfucker.
No. I tried an anchovy pizza because I love anchovies. Only on Caesar salad.
I like Caesar salad too, but
yeah, but I'm like, I love it. I eat the whole one with a fucking, a fork of the Caesar salad. But it's like, I tried a pizza.
Actually, one of my favorite pizzas is actually, we were on tour and we went to Texas and we were in Houston, and they have this place. I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically like a Subway, but for pizzas, and they were all like brick oven pizza. And it was artichoke and bacon.
It was Mod. You went to a Mod pizza.
Yes, that was it.
Made on demand. Yep.
We did. The guy at the counter was like, "You got to try this," and it was like artichoke and bacon and mushrooms, and that shit was awesome.
Do you guys have? It's called CC's Pizza.
We have it here.
Yeah, I don't have it up here.
The closest one for us is actually over the border in Savannah, Georgia.
See, we used to have it here. That used to be, pizza buffet for like $5. Sign me up.
Right. Well, the Mod Pizza, I think there's some in Ohio.
There is.
Yeah, the Mod Pizza, what I liked about it, like you said, it's like a Subway. When you go in, you don't actually order the kind of pizza you want. You order the size. And then you go through an assembly line, and the size of the pizza, it's, $10. $10 is $10 for the medium pizza. You can put whatever the fuck you want on it based on everything that they have. There's no upcharge for meats. There's no, I want extra cheese. I want this. Throw some of this on there. It's still the same price of medium pizza, whether it's plain or whether it's loaded.
Yeah, and you can like pick your crust, like whether it's gluten-free, wheat, fucking all this different shit. They got like 10 different sauces you could choose from, and then you choose all your ingredients, just like Subway. You just lay it out there.
Just based on the size of the pizza, that's it.
Yeah. I wish we had them here.
So, but anyway, all right, those were my questions, Leo. I didn't expect a pizza discussion, but that was good.
Hey, you must all be hungry. I haven't had pizza in a couple weeks, so
I want a Reuben pizza right now.
There you go.
Last pizza I had was barbecue chicken. It's they put a nice barbecue sauce on it. It's really good. Okay.
Nice.
Enough
All right,
about pizza.
Leo.
We'll wrap
I know
things
you
up.
have your standard.
Yep. So last question, Shawn. Besides making movies, what's something that you dork out about? Like, we had somebody on that loved, researching like sunken vessels and the history of it and whatnot. But what's something that, like, are you a gamer? Do you collect old cameras? What's something you dork out about?
Records. I have a decent record collection. I like tracking down and finding like first pressings of some old records.
Very cool.
Between that and like collecting, I've got way too much Universal Monsters things. Like, it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Especially since I found out, like, I just about a month ago bought, it's a full-size replica of the cane from the Wolfman.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
And it was like $500. And I regret it, but I don't. But I kind of need that money now. So I'm kind of...
I know how that goes. I collect everything Black Panther, the cat.
Okay.
The big, Black Panthers. And I came across one. I didn't even have the money. I put myself into debt to get it. It was came from an old storefront in Quincy. And it's made of fiberglass and it's 7.5 feet long.
Damn.
So it's like life size. And it was funny because I went up. He's like, well, you're going to need like a pickup truck or a van to get this thing. I'm like, I'm all set. I got my van. We get it loaded into my van. And the guy looks, I paid him, and he looks at me and he goes, now I'm going to tell you, the first thing you're going to want to do when you get this home is to repaint it. Because there's been a lot of pussy sitting on this thing. And I'm like, all right. So the first thing I did was I came home and I painted it. Because I didn't want my cats crawling all over it. It was kind of a funny story. It was funny when it happened. So, but anyway, Shawn, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I know Leo's got another show coming up, and so does Dustin, right?
Yep.
You got one pulling off at 9 too?
Yep.
So what do you got going on, Dustin? What are you talking about?
I will be on sports at 9 o'clock. So tonight we will be going over the hockey.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So based on that, just a quick question for you. Was that an accident?
What?
The skate to the neck.
No, I think it was like, I think he meant to do it.
It was malicious. He meant no harm. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that tonight.
Okay. And Leo, you got your show coming up at 8?
Yeah, we're not going to be doing live though. Tonight we're recording Comics Paradox. We're going to be talking about what if Wolverine joined S.H.I.E.L.D. So yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting concept. Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a what if from, I think, like the 70s or 80s or something like that. That, and we'll talk about the new South Park movie that just came out.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, fun stuff. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, just Google me. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But I'm not going to tell you which is which, but I run a Dorkening podcast network. Ton of awesome people doing a ton of awesome stuff. Head on over to thedorkening.com. You can learn more. Also, check out our newer show, Splash Pages, which we talk about comics. And you can find that live every Tuesday. And we got a bunch of other videos on it right now. Doing a Chris Claremont run right now. Got a ton of footage from him talking about his time with X-Men and whatnot. And so, Shawn, where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook. That's really the main places. I believe it's at SM Burkett. I think I should be able to check that out somehow.
No. It should be in the show notes too.
Yeah, we probably got it in. Well, yeah, I know Ben put it in the show notes up above or down below, depending on
Yeah.
where you're watching or listening to us. Cool beans. So you said Instagram is where you like to interact with people?
Yeah, Instagram, oh, what is it? Facebook. I'm like on everything. It's just that's kind of the issue, is that I'm on everything and people message me on everything, and then I don't always get to reply as quick as I'd like to.
I hear you. Yeah, definitely understand that. Dustin,
Yeah.
where do you like people interacting with you?
You can usually get me over at Hellfire Entertainment. That's pretty much because I don't have a lot of socials, so I'm pretty much over on Hellfire. You can message me on Hellfire, see our shows on Hellfire, and that's about it.
Awesome, Jeffrey.
Wow. All right, as far as us, Still Toking, just go to stilltoking.com. All our social links are there. Facebook, Token with the Dead. I mean, that's the main stuff for us. You know, don't look me up. It's not even worth your time. You know, so if you want to reach out to me, reach out to Token with the Dead, because I'm half dead. You know, so but thank you, Shawn, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I know Ben's not here, so I will do my best, Shawn. If you could just hang out while the show closes till the end, that would be great. How's Ben doing? I'd like to thank all our first responders for doing what you do so that we can come out here and do what we do. Peace.
Nicely said. Nicely said.